now live. Careful with your words. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I keep saying that, but I don't think any women watch this channel. So today I am reacting to Blade vs. Buffy. Oh shit! Actually, you know what? I should put no spoilers in the bubble.
Yeah, sorry if I'll be yawning. I'm tired.
No, that's fine. It's not a usual stream day. I'll forgive you. I'll forgive you this once.
No, I don't want you to do the thing that you usually do and go and check what time it is and then give me shit for it.
No. I'll forgive you today. Hello, Dark Lord. No spoilers. No spoilers. I haven't watched the death battle yet. I know nothing about what's happening. I almost don't even want to read chat right now because I'm worried chat's going to spoil it for me.
Then avoid the chat.
Kyle.
Yeah, but we like to answer questions, and sometimes they can fill us in on stuff we don't know.
Yeah, no spoilers. No spoilers.
Fair enough.
So, Kyle, I'm going to need you to verify. Okay, do you have chat open, Kyle?
Why the hell would I have chat open when I have to watch the stream on Discord?
You fucking bitch. Alright, whatever. Blade vs. Buffy. Have not seen it. No spoilers. Let's go.
I'm sorry, not everyone has as much money as you to have your Batman level setup.
It's just 2 monitors and a mic. Alright, no spoilers. Have not seen it.
Versus Buffy, the Daywalker versus the Vampire Slayer. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
Oh, good Buffy,
and
actually.
it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills.
I'm
to
assuming
find out
Blade's
who
gonna
would
take
win
it, but I
a
don't know who
death
takes
battle.
it.
They are known by many names: Revenant, Vortala, Nosferatu.
Alright, Sparta, post in
When
chat
the
that I'm
moon
not
is
really
out
going to
and the
respond to
night is
comments
young,
till
these
after,
undead
because I'm
demons
not
are
worried
out
someone's
for
going to round the
blood.
shell up and
Fitting
spoil
that
something.
the greatest foe of those who stalk the night is the one who can walk the day, Blade.
Is that really his costume?
Hang on.
Now there's a man who doesn't file his taxes. Blade is one of the coolest superheroes ever. And
Listen,
basically
a good tax
kickstarted the
evasion
comic
joke
book
always goes a
movie
long
craze.
way.
And yet, he is also seemingly the only one who knows or cares.
Look, he can laugh about it now.
World
He
of
he
Marvel.
did that joke in I think it was Expendables 3.
Vampires exist. Seriously, nobody talks about this.
Blade doesn't need anyone's help. He'll just aura farm by himself.
Even Blade's
So, to be as fair as possible regarding vampires in Marvel, I believe there are a couple of other heroes who do interact with vampires, because I believe Dracula appears in several stories.
Vampires have a political thing in Marvel where a lot of characters don't interact with them because of like stuff that is set up in it. They'll go over like one of like the aspects later, but like Dracula is a reason, and then Varney is another reason. And Varney is like, might be mispronouncing Varney's name. It's like the first ever vampire. I don't like Varney. I can't blame it because it's not a new character. It's just they took the character and did something new. There's a recent event with Blade where he was like centerfold. He was called Blood Hunt.
Yeah,
That's where like Miles briefly got turned into a vampire for a while.
that's why.
But basically Blade was like the main villain because Varney was using him as a host body and kicking everyone's ass. Across like Marvel, Doctor Strange, they wrote him like almost like as bad as they did during like One More Day, where he's like, "Oh shit, I can't do anything. You know what? I'm gonna grant Doctor Doom my powers in exchange that he helps us." And it's totally not gonna backfire. And it backfired.
All right.
I think the real criminal thing here is that he likes I Am Legend. That movie sucks. It's just as bad as fucking what
out of here.
I Am Legend sucks. It's just as bad as Will Smith's robot movie. That sucked too.
I Robot was
I
bad.
did not join this call expecting to hear that. Oh, go ahead.
But I Am Legend was good.
I Am Legend
Fuck
sucks,
off.
dude.
No
What's good about it?
No
What
fucking
would you
taste.
like about it?
The atmosphere, Kyle.
Just as the young Eric
It's every apocalyptic zombie movie ever. Fuck off. It's just got Will Smith.
Vampire Deacon Frost.
And he drank her blood right before she gave birth.
This infused Eric with Frost's vampiric blood, turning him half human, half vampire. a Dampier.
giving him a ton of vampy powers, but none of their weaknesses like garlic, holy water, or sunlight.
Eric would hone these abilities under the tutelage of vampire hunter Jamal Afari, sharpening him into
Have
a
you never seen any of the
blade.
Blade films?
I remember I watched Blade 1 and I saw Blade 3 when I was a kid, so I have not seen them in a long time.
Oh, you poor soul. I'm sorry that you had to experience Blade 3.
that would rape the vampire
not
plague
adding
for
a lot.
good?
It is strong and fast enough to toss around 1,000-pound demons and cut bullets out of the air. He can keep up with Wolverine, who can deflect Cyclops' light-speed optic blasts, and his Kevlar DuPont
Hang on. I'm actually gonna go back quickly. What does it say?
to toss around 1,000-pound demons and cut bullets out of the air. He can keep up with Wolverine, who can deflect
At the speed of light? Okay.
Cyclops' light-speed optic blasts, and his Kevlar DuPont armor helped him
Okay,
take
so
the
depending
top
on the
of
version
Cowboys.
of you also scale to certain versions of the Hulk, because certain versions of the Hulk can fight Wolverine consistently.
You know, those fights I would not say are quite as one-to-one as...
Oh, so anyone scaling the Hulk is weird because, like, truth be told, like, Hulkzilla's whole shtick was to take Hulk at his best, right? Same with in theory, Godzilla, right? But, like, Hulk is, like, one of those characters that varies so heavily because of his anger levels. Is, like, speed, durability, and like, strength are all in proportion to the amount of anger. So it's, like... Even Savage could technically, in theory, be, like, extremely weak to the point where, like, Spider-Man might be able to KO him, or vice versa. He might be so strong that Spider-Man could just break his arm, even if he were to go all out and just punch Hulk's skin. It's really weird with Hulk.
Yeah. Chat, I'm not looking at the chat right now because I don't want spoilers. So, if I'll check in if there's your spoiler
castle
comments, and I'll
exploding.
check
You
in
can
a
heal
minute or
small
two.
wounds immediately.
We should probably say this now, just before we continue. While I'm going for Blade and Zim's going for Buffy, we both don't have a stake in this fight. We both know enough about the characters that we like those characters. We just don't know anything about them.
Yes. I grew up on Buffy and Angel. Kyle played, or I guess watched the Blade movies.
Yeah, I grew up on the Blade movies. Those were my first interaction with Marvel.
I think my first interaction with Marvel was Spider-Man. Though Blade has been incapacitated via stabbing, his healing factor has power through impalement in secondary material like Blade the series and Blade the anime. Bro, are we really repping fucking animes and fucking animated shows for a comic book character?
Hold on. Blade
The
and
anime
Buffy
doesn't
are
give him anything
getting
good.
literally, like, I don't think, actually, you know what, I'll let you get to that.
Don't worry, the anime doesn't give him anything good. I've seen the anime.
With his hypersenses.
Alright.
Also, his fangs can drain his victims of magical energies.
After studying the ways of Hong Kong Kung Fu movies,
Wait,
Blade
pause.
became a master.
Pausing.
So, technically, that's not inherently wrong. Okay, so this is actually something that was, like, in general. I'm not saying that, like, DB or anyone. Like, so, no one in there bothered to look at what Marvel.com has to say about that one sequence where, Blade bites Robbie Reyes in the neck. So, context, Robbie was being controlled by, like, he had basically, like, something in him that's, like, akin to, like, a sickness, right?
Yeah.
So, what Blade does is bite into him and spit the thing out. And it was attributed to being power drained for the longest time. Marvel.com, however, it considers it different and explains that it's an ability that he has as a Dampier, that he can remove supernatural sicknesses or curses from a person's body if he bites. Now, the comic itself doesn't elaborate too well on this, so I don't blame anyone for saying that it's power drain. It's just, if you use Marvel.com specifically, it's not technically power drain. It's more like a very interesting form of, like, removing diseases or curses or infections.
And I'm assuming it's one of those powers that only ever popped up really once, so there's not a lot to compare it to.
I mean, Blade has that in spades when it comes to weapons. His best weapons are, like, one appearances.
Fair enough. All right. So if that comes up in the results, seems that might be
Mr.
an
Martial
issue,
Artist.
but we'll
Yes,
see.
the Rufus from Street Fighter School of Kung Fu.
While the only martial art he's been
Blood-sucking fangs, magical energy siphoning, hypersenses, immortality, regeneration, shapeshifting, berserk mode, martial arts.
stated to know is Krav Maga, we know he's mastered more. So for the full scope of his martial arts ability, we'll examine the Blade movies as performed by
I
Wesley
wonder if
Snipes.
Wesley
By
Snipes
looking at
turned down
Snipes'
the
training
request
and
to bring his
choreography,
Blade.
we know Blade uses Kung Fu, Capoeira, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Eskrima, Kickboxing, Shotokan Karate, and Hapkido. Add on Blade's knack for stealthy takedowns, and I guess you could call him Marvel's...
Damn it!
From meeting.
I really need to get fucked.
This is the worst timing so far for an ad.
Blade's training progressed smoothly
don't need
until
you to fucking
Afari
prove
was
it.
attacked and had his blood drained by Dracula. Seriously, Avengers, Dracula is real. Why aren't you doing anything about this? He's right there.
Forced to murk his surrogate dad, Blade would have to wage his war alone.
Nursing a wound within him that would never heal. A hole that could never be filled.
Not with that attitude. Blade took a page out of the Book of Boomstick and tried filling that hole with every
Midnight
kind
Suns.
of weapon imaginable.
Good game.
He's got so many, they're his apartment decorations.
Handguns, assault rifles, and explosives make up the brunt
Nothing
of his
too crazy.
firepower. And he
Anti-hypnosis
enjoys getting up
goggles.
close and personal
Valid.
with his dual acid-etched titanium katanas.
Speaking of glorious Nippon steel, he's got a sword made out of adamantium.
Specifically, secondary adamantium, a variant of the metal that is mass producible.
It might not be quite as strong as Cap's shield, but it can cut right through
Like
heavy
Cap's
hitters
shield's
like
vibranium
Ultron and the
adamantium.
Hulk.
Naturally, Blade has even more swords. His Atlantean ones can slice through magical enchantments. The Word Sword can harm intangible demons, and the Justiciar can slay fallen angels.
Pause.
Yeah, he's got some weird...
If you want elaboration on that. If I remember right, I could be mistaking it with the MCU, but I'm pretty sure I'm not. Because adamantium is not in the MCU, at least, well, no, it is now, but it wasn't previously. So if I recall, the Shield's makeup has been retconned a few times, but if I remember, the latest one was, it was like a mix of adamantium, vibranium, and some other unknown element. It's kind of like weird. It's kind of like the mix or the liquid metal that ended up making up for it was kind of like unsupervised or something like that. And like like some parts of it being unknown. I know it was like rebuilt with Uru metal during Fear itself, from Asgard, if I recall.
Yes.
But like, I think the reason they brought up the adamantium for like the shield is that technically, at least in some of its backstory, that's part of its makeup.
No, I mean that's fine. It's just like we already had Wolverine. I don't know why we're bringing up the shield. That's mainly known for its vibranium, but
Stuff he can pull out of his ass, like a Hellfire shotgun that burns your soul, or hypodermic needles filled with vampire blood. Seems kind of dumb to turn people into vampires, but it does make them more vulnerable to Blade's arsenal.
All that pales in comparison to the arch weapon of hell in Blade's possession, the breathing gun. It is a living firearm that hisses in the presence of demonic forces. Its sentient bullets chase its victims down. The wounds they cause cannot be healed. And if they get lodged in your body, they'll slowly devour you from the inside out.
in the same fight where the breathing gun harmed him, Cosmic Ghost Rider defended attacks from Captain Marvel that could melt through a star.
They can even hurt Hell Lords and even greater threats like the Cosmic Ghost Rider.
Blade took everything he had and fought his
valid.
one-man war for almost 100
Oh.
years.
He's battled horror.
Okay, that seems pretty important for scaling.
What, the gun? The gun that can basically harm anything, it feels like? My special gun
Yeah.
that breeds?
Technically, I think the star thing is just there for the sake of a comparison for people who don't like
Yeah.
get like the higher
durability.
stuff. But like technically, it should be way higher than that. If it's harming Cosmic Ghost Rider, we're talking like pretty good Herald Double, like at least like weaponry, like
the mythical Herald tier for Marvel, where every character somehow
overused.
scale into.
Yeah, the
No,
overused.
remember Zim? We covered this. Herald tiers and Celestials have no fates. Even Kratos can beat them.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. They're Kratos victims. My bad. My bad. My bad. I forgot. My bad. I just got done watching that Rogue Rabbit video.
The vampires, while skydiving, infiltrated the Pentagon and even took on Spider-Man like
Well,
Miles.
this was an Insomniac version of Miles. Insomniac Spider-Man is on par with the mainline Spider-Man in comic book crossovers.
Morales, who could absorb the
Spider-Geddon.
bomb that could destroy
That's fine.
Harlem. Blades even bested the Spirit of Vengeance, Zarathos.
And while he occasionally
Was this after Zarathos tried to use the penance there?
This was with the weapon called the Justicar, which is some weird. So, like, consider the Justicar has a lot of context to it. It has a one-time appearance for dealing with Zarathos, but think of it as like Zarathos Kryptonite. Is probably the best way to put it.
Okay.
It's like
Vampire-
tailor-made.
Yeah.
It's tailor-made for something like Zarathos.
All right. Battle vampires for 90 years. Harmed Cosmic Ghost Rider with the breathing gun. Tore bodies apart with his bare hands. Block gunfire. Dodge Count Vashtak's optic lasers. Survived Hulk throwing him into the sky. Fought a horde of killer geese with Deadpool. Defeated Dracula, Deacon Frost, Zarathos, and Varney.
With teams like the Avengers.
Some of these could be better. I think the problem is that I mean, he does have direct feats, yes, but it's like he's more of a what you would consider the term, I guess, street tier. You're not going to be saying something insane here. Let's see.
Oh, so he's
If we're going direct,
So
if we're going through Battle of Vampires for 90 years, I think that's good, decent. It's like at least gives like a you don't have to necessarily. It doesn't necessarily say much, but it gives like a good showing of like how long he's been in.
Hang on, Ty, because I think Kyle wanted to say something before you elaborate on these. Kyle,
Oh yeah. Sorry, Kyle. Go.
So, from what I understand of Marvel scaling, he has a gun that can hurt Ghost Rider, and from what I understand, he's defeated Zarathos, and from what we know of the Ghost Rider episode, Buffy better have something really good.
The Zarathos one is weird for me because it's like, so like the way the Justicar works is that like, if I remember right, it absorbed energy from another source and it's typically just really tailor made against fallen angels. Like, at that time, if I remember right, because Zarathos' backstory changes all the time, but like if I remember right, that fallen angel thing did apply to Zarathos back then, and the Justicar is, like I said, like. I'm not sure how it would translate to fighting another character that isn't a fallen angel, but it is like tailor made as like Zarathos is like kryptonite.
So.
Well, I was going to say that, like, even if you didn't want to give it for AP, from what I understand, he has two massively faster than light feats being able to keep up with Cosmic Ghost Rider and Zarathos.
Well, the breathing gun, I don't know if that's fair to use for speed.
Oh, okay. Actually, so funny story. When he shoots Cosmic Ghost Rider has his back towards him, and they're in a small room, and he's standing still. So I wouldn't use that as a speed feat.
Okay.
Zarathos might be more for game, but Cosmic Ghost Rider is definitely not a speed feat per se for Blade, because it's just the equivalent of shooting a guy standing backwards, basically.
But who the fuck is Count Vodstad? Are they going to elaborate on that?
Briefly earlier, it was that castle they say that he survived the explosion of with the Kevlar.
Oh, okay.
To work alone.
I probably would too if they only cared about me when I was helping them and not ridding the world of, vampires.
That, and Blade is scared of what he might do if he loses control, because he does have one classic vampire weakness: a thirst for blood. Blah.
Even more so after he had a daughter, Brielle, whom he avoided for fear of endangering her. If his bloodlust does overwhelm him,
Adobe Acrobat Studio.
Gosh darn it, Adobe!
If his bloodlust comes over him, he has to get Adobe, which is the biggest scam ever.
skyrocketing his strength at the cost of his sanity.
Though it does make him even better at killing vamps. He's made a cottage industry out of whooping Dracula's ass.
Dracula is unsurprisingly powerful, capable of summoning a thunderstorm that covered all of Boston with a wave of his hand.
Drac apparently didn't hold a grudge though, since he eventually made Blade the sheriff of Vampirsk, a vampire nation in the ruins of Chernobyl.
Amazingly, Dracula has even given Blade some of his own blood, which allows him to shapeshift into multiple forms, like a wolf, a horde of bats, or a cloud
Man,
of
Blade
mist.
is just
So
not
he can
loyal.
force his way inside your body and blow you up from the inside out, Ant-Man style.
What is with you with the Ant-Man? Blade's hatred of vampires is only matched by his hatred of himself. However, when Brielle showed signs of vampiric powers, Blade finally found a reason to reconnect with his daughter, training her the same way Afari trained him a century prior.
Even after Blade was possessed by the first vampire ever and tried to take over the planet, Brielle put her dad's teachings to the test, saving
That's not how I
Buffy
remember the
and
movie going.
And proving that Blade's lonely war need not be so lonely anymore.
Was Triple H
With his
vampire?
daughter at his side, and also this plant creature pet called Boy
Never.
Thing, let Marvel's vampires beware. For should they indulge their unnatural urges, they will be sure to meet their end at the tip of his blade.
I probably should watch the original Blade movie like again.
So they briefly brought up Boy Thing. I would consider Boy Thing like really up there in his arsenal. Boy Thing is, think of like Man Thing, but literally just like a small snippet of Man Thing that basically has befriended and bonded with Blade. Can like cover him as like an armor. His most infamous feat is that while Silver Surfer is intangible, Blade takes a blade, stabs him, and then Boy Thing applies his fear hacks. And the way it works is that so long as you like feel fear, like it will potentially even incapacitate you. It's stronger for Man Thing than it is Boy Thing, but it's still a really good showing for that kind of hacks. That's something important to note. They might discuss that later. I will leave that to you find out. I just wanted to mention, like, if it is discussed at all, that way you're not going into that blind.
All right, appreciate it. Chat, for those of you still in chat, I'm not looking at chat because I don't trust you guys to not spoil the matchup for me. Also, man, Blade has a lot more shit than I expected.
In every generation, there is a
recent
chosen
fucking
one.
comics.
She alone will stand against the vampires.
Oh, wait,
the
actually, one more
demons,
thing.
and the-
Sorry, last thing, I promise. So Rivals came out recently, right? And it was way too late after the cycle. So Rivals gives him Dracula's sword for his ultimate move where he rips off Virgil and even steals the name of his Bury the Light. But anyways,
fucking sword is Newhead loves using that shit.
yeah, it's Dracula's sword, but the interesting thing in it is that in Rivals itself, it can actually like harm Hela while she's the Queen in Black.
Isn't Blade amped by the Phoenix Force in that chapter? Because I'm pretty sure that's like a Phoenix
To an
Force and Blade.
extent, but you can make the argument the Blade wouldn't be. It depends. I don't think it matters too much. Rivals is such a different iteration, and as you said, he potentially was amplified. The other thing is, obviously, it came out post. The stuff was revealed for like Rivals far too late. I think it helps bolster views potentially, but like Rivals is not really in part of this lineup.
Yeah, don't worry. That'll be when Hela shows up, because apparently Hela's getting her fucking null form officially in the comics next year.
I just figured it'd be worth mentioning, just so no rock is overturned.
All right, appreciate it.
Forces of darkness. She is the Slayer.
For thousands of years, a new Slayer would be granted incredible powers and was destined to die young in battle against evil, passing their powers on to the next Slayer and the next, and
They're
so
obviously not that good.
That
They
is,
got to keep
until
dying
the
young.
newest Slayer would change everything: Buffy and Summers.
Not exactly the first girl you'd think is the savior of humanity. Buffy's only goals in life were, in her own words, graduate from high school, go to Europe, marry Christian Slater, and die.
But that would all change when the Watcher Merrick appeared and revealed her destiny.
Like, total
Women's dreams
bummer.
have
Merrick
not
trained
changed in the last 20 years. Got it.
In the arts of vampire slang, and she became so efficient that she burned down her school. Whoops.
Forcing her and her mom to move to Sunnydale, California to start a new life, far away from any more bloodsuckers and bad makeup.
Unfortunately, small problem, Sunnydale just so happened to be right on top of a hell mountain, where the
old
boundary between
CGI.
Earth and Hell is permeable.
Yeah, that sounds like the valley, alright.
Alright, if you think that's rough, you should here's TGI for the first Blade movie.
Giles, Wallflower Willow, part-time bad boy, part-time sad boy Angel, magical retcon sister Dawn, and Xander. Buffy and her Scooby gang would battle a never-ending series of monsters.
And we mean truly never-ending. Sure, there's the TV show, but Buffy has also been slaying vampires across video games, comics, and 128 novels. Tens of
Jesus
thousands
fucking
of
Christ,
pages.
eat your heart out, Warhammer.
So, because those are I see a bunch of Scholastic novels, because mainly some of these are all novels. I bet they're technically novellas. I bet they're like probably like 200 or less pages. I'm sure there's some.
That's not entire. Some of that's accurate for some of them. Some of them has Heat, for example, has like 400 pages. So, there's a lot. Some of them are direct adaptations with some differences of episodes. Some of them are unique novels. Some of them are novels from Angel. Angel got his own TV series. Don't ever watch season 4. Don't put yourself through that living hell.
There's always one.
And also, if you ever watch the main series, don't put yourself through the hell that is Xander.
Listen, I'm sure he can't be that bad.
Xander is like universally despised by the fandom, and like Xander's the kind of person that would ask a woman out, the woman would reject him, and then he would devote himself to trying to mind controlling her into getting with him. And then just go further scummy than there.
That's
Xander's just universally hated by the fan base.
Valid.
Buffy lore,
So what I'm hearing is magical.
Kyle, repeat that again. You cut out.
So what I'm hearing is magical date rape. Let's go.
I feel like I've heard that romance novel plot before, Cyber. I'm pretty sure it's a popular one.
I'm pretty sure that's
popularize
the plot to a couple of hentais.
Keep in mind, this is made by Joss Whedon. So.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know if he made the movie or the TV show because I know he was involved in Buffy. To be fair, a lot of culturally relevant nerd shit did come from Josh Whedon. Just a shame he was kind of a piece of shit behind the scenes.
Just crazy enough to speed read them all.
Buffy carries a variety of anti-vampire weaponry. There's wooden stakes, of course, sometimes dipped in gorgon venom that can turn you to stone. Though she's also experienced with axes, swords, quarterstaffs, holy water, just about anything.
You said it! When she fought an ancient demon unable to be killed by any weapon forged in his time, Buffy introduced his stupid ass to the 20th century.
She's also a master of Aikido, Judo, Jiu-Jitsu, boxing, kickboxing, wrestling, karate, kung fu,
it's like a monkey's paw.
kendo, capoeira, and taekwondo.
Buffy apparently thinks Hong Kong's kung fu movie masters.
You know what that is? That's literally how the fucking Shadow thinks the world works when you fight him for the first time in the castle.
Oh, that's great.
I can't be harmed by any weapon I know. Well, you haven't met a fucking gun.
Thanks to her Slayer senses, her reflexes are fine-tuned enough to dodge close-range Gatling gun fire, lightning bolts from the sky, and even beams of light. She's kept up with another Slayer, Faith, who can dodge lightning bolts from the sky, and even
Spike, she shouted, and had to dive out of the way of a prismed ray of pure, soulful sunlight.
beams of light. She's kept up with another Slayer, Faith, who can dodge laser beams from point-blank range.
Buffy's strong enough to bend rebar, punch this 4.5-ton bat monster into the air.
So this is one of those characters to where the comics took a lot of liberties in how strong she actually is.
Technically, the comics are a direct sequel. As in, the show ends, and then the comics continue off.
Okay, so this will be a older Buffy doing these feats. Okay.
You could argue there's still obviously a differentiation of how the show and the comics depict, but I just think that's just because of the limit. The comics are more free to not be so bound by budget limits of cheap early 2000s show that had poor CGI.
That's wild.
Smash hard enough to tear apart a building.
And despite her lack of armor, she can survive massive explosions, like the one that destroyed Cephalian's lair that's bigger on the inside.
She can even fight blindfolded.
Pause for a sec. Are you aware of the mountain bus sex feat?
I am not aware of the mountain bus sex feat. Please tell me more.
Oh, she has sex with someone, I think if I was to recall, Angel, in the sky while she's amped. So it wouldn't be standard, it wouldn't be used, but she was amped. They have sex and then fall into a mountain and destroy it while they're banging.
I think, did Superman do something like that with Wonder Woman? And I think it was Injustice.
No, wasn't that the Hulk?
No, the Hulk had one that shook hell.
Hulk has the Umar sex feat, but
Doesn't
Buffy
Astro Boy have that too?
Buffy has destroying building while having sex with no amp, and then she destroys a mountain with an amp while having sex.
I don't think that's worth it, chat. If anyone's in the chat still here, I don't think that's worth it. That's a whole house you're destroying just to get laid.
That destroyed Cephrilion's lair that's bigger on the inside.
Lair volume.
She can even fight blindfolded, but if she is injured, she heals fast enough.
Accelerated healing, high-end senses, martial arts, weapons expertise, Clouder's trance, Slayer mode, superhuman resistance to mind control, hypnosis, clairvoyance, poisons, physical possession, soul manipulation, memory manipulation.
To be totally fine by the next episode.
One time, Angel sucked out almost all of the blood from her body, and she survived. Doubly impressive since Angel's blood draining also drains magical energy.
Yeah, Buffy's own magic makes her weirdly resilient to esoteric attacks. Like when she...
That's where I've seen him. He's in Bones.
Kyle, no! When Buffy returned to the dimension of the Shadow Man for help against the first evil, she saw this demon and described it to me as living black smoke. I sought to merge with her and she refused an entry.
Misty's shadow demon trying to possess her body.
No, I
When
couldn't
she
figure out
possessed-
where I kept seeing where I know that actor from.
I see. It was almost enough to pull her apart, to scatter her soul across the eons among these thousands of years of Slayers. No, she thought, it echoed over millions of days, infinite moments. I am the Slayer. Moment by moment, life by life, in an instance or a fraction of forever, she pulled herself back. Heart and soul, she grasped the lifeline that was the primal power of the Slayer, and she found herself again.
Scared her soul being ripped apart and scattered across time.
Or that time she jumped into a vat of boiling liquid so hot it could reduce people to skeletons, and she was just fine.
She might not show physical scars, but she sure has emotional ones. Being the Slayer put a huge burden on Buffy's life.
Unable to live normally, she felt isolated, forced to internalize the trauma she faced on a daily basis. Sure, she had friends, but they couldn't understand her unique struggle.
Like when
Fucking
Angel
Scott.
turned evil after he took her virginity and tried to destroy the world. That must be one of those metaphors.
Sometimes the worst enemies are the ones you can't fight and who don't fight back.
Made even worse by her having all the memories of the other Slayers bouncing around in her head, dating back to the Stone Age.
Buffy has dreamt of every
Buffy can tap into her skills subconsciously. She can react without thinking, sense danger in advance, and fight at her full potential even after memories were erased. Nice.
battle a Slayer has ever fought, and can call upon those skills in a fight, even subconsciously.
But this includes the memories of their deaths. Countless women violently dying young. A reminder of her inevitable fate.
A fate that came to pass when she fought the Hell God Glory. After leaping into Glory's reality-ending interdimensional hole,
A glory hole, if you will.
Oh, so that joke you liked! What am I gonna do with you?
to save
No, I just find it funny that the writers were not subtle about that whatsoever.
I saw you unmute yourself, Cyber. Did you want to say something?
That is very Whedonism.
Blame everything on Josh Whedon. I see how it is.
the universe, dying a hero's death.
I mean, he wrote that season.
It appears my glory hole joke was poorly timed.
Finally freed of her unfair earthly responsibilities, Buffy's soul ascended to heaven in perfect bliss.
And then just got fucking slapped like that.
Until her friends brought her back to life in the agony of existence! This absolutely crushed Buffy, and ironically, annihilated her will to live.
Oh, that's rough, Buffy. But with the show renewed for more seasons, she had to nut up and continue her endless crusade against all things.
Damn, your friends bring you back from the dead and you're so ungrateful about it. Fuck!
Spirit Halloween.
Buffy's battled for 48 hours.
Destroyed the Seed of Wonder, lifted Olaf's enchanted hammer, caught the sword that sealed Acatalia? Yeah, whatever. Survived.
Mind if I judge this one as Kyle normally judges ones? I figured I'd do it for this one. I actually feel like this one could be a little different. This doesn't... The Blade one, I think, is actually decent-ish. It just could have used better feats. This one, I think, is not super good in the sense that, like, it doesn't tell you how impressive the seed... Like, most people going into this will not have watched Buffy, right? So,
Yeah.
I think the first three here are definitely not that good.
Yeah.
The fourth one is okay-ish. It doesn't quantify anything, but you could put it as like, oh well, that means she's at least decent against magic, right?
Yeah.
The fifth one is actually pretty good. Micro millisecond reactions. That's actually a speed feat.
Yes.
Lightning one is okay. Hell Lord Belphegor, again, that doesn't really tell you anything. And then I'm not going to judge that last line. They obviously do that every single character, just list off like who they beat in general.
Yeah, but so is this list actually impressive in universe? Because they have listed.
In context, this is a very impressive list.
Okay.
But I'm
'cause-
saying that like it's not. It doesn't do a decent job at like quantifying it. Is what I'm getting at.
No, that's fine because I'll never let it go. How in the Fista and Northstar Kenshiro one, they had a random fucking Azura as one of the people Kenshiro beat.
Wait, what season was that one anyways?
I don't know what
Was that like season 3 or something?
probably. Well, it wasn't 3 because it was Jotaro versus Kenshiro. Season 3 had Dante
I
and
thought it was
Bayonetta,
4 or
so
5.
it was probably like 6. I want to say it was 6.
Are you sure? Hold on. You can continue. I'm going to look that up really
Power
quick.
Straight defeated vampires immune to traditional vampiric weaknesses and destroyed the Sword of Sano, which caused the Great Hanshin earthquake.
And of course, both Buffy and her friends have defeated countless immensely powerful demons.
Like the Queller Demon, which arrived as a meteor and caused the Tunguska explosion, which destroyed over 2,000 square kilometers of forest. Or the Sorrow Demon, which caused a storm that blanketed Los Angeles.
She's also a match for Angel, who survived a blast that could rupture a continental shelf and took hits from Whistler, whose magic contained a bomb that could vaporize London.
She even faced off against the First Evil, literally the embodiment of all evil that predates reality itself.
Forced into battles against stronger and stronger
I feel like Angel has a uni feat somewhere, doesn't he? I could have sworn Angel had one somewhere.
baddies, Buffy clearly needed something to even the odds. The
Build a website you love.
Damn it, Wix!
Slayer safe!
It's actually a Bardiche.
Yeah, whatever. I'm just gonna say
So it was actually season 5.
Okay, so I knew it was a little later. but
Bullshit,
she's
Containing
alright.
the essence of Buffy's Slayer
Counterpart to Excalibur, forged to kill old ones, contains essence of Buffy Slayer powers, cuts through magic, space, ghost, power absorption, reflection, redistribution, magical wards against theft and power removal. This type conceived the child with Willow in the novels. Understood?
powers and created to defeat ancient demons. The Scythe can deflect magical projectiles and slice through just about anything. Ghosts, magic, even space itself, destabilizing reality in the process.
even Silas, the devourer of worlds. Kinda like Galactus, but instead of chomping on planets, he eats the multiverse. And there goes his head.
The Scythe is easily the most powerful tool in her arsenal. In effect, attaining it completed Buffy, as though it were a piece of her she never knew was missing. With the Scythe, Buffy was finally whole. Being the Slayer was no longer a burden, but a purpose.
And by sharing her Slayer powers with thousands of girls around the world, they all teamed up and kicked the First Evil's ass.
Suddenly, the always isolated Buffy had thousands of shoulders to lean on, a sisterhood of Slayers.
And thousands more reasons for any wannabe demon conqueror to stay away from Earth. Because unless you want to get your blood all over her stylish yet affordable boots, you'll steer clear of Buffy, the Vampire Slayer.
So, oh well, actually, let me skip the ad because I'm assuming there's an ad. Yeah, that's just about.
I honestly don't know about the Angel thing. You could be right. I imagine it probably would not be considered consistent. In the same fashion that you could say that like Blade might have one or two like actually a decent one. So like Immortal Hulk, when the Avengers pull up on him early in like the Immortal Hulk run, like
Yes.
he throws like Blade away and Blade survives, but I'm not going to use that to say that like Blade is like consistently scaling to Immortal Hulk or something like that.
That's
Like
fair.
the Devil Hulk.
That's fair. So with what they've shown, it looks like really that most of Buffy's arsenal is probably not going to work on Blade because it seems hyper specific. Really, it's just that Scythe at the end that I think gives her a fighting chance, to be honest. Because Blade's got a lot of bullshit. So we'll see. I'm hoping Blade wins, or not Blade. I'm hoping Buffy wins, but I would not be surprised because her feats. The problem is that like they're again have not watched it. Pure blind prediction. I guarantee you, if Blade wins, they're gonna be like, "Oh, here are these random feats we barely mentioned that actually turn Blade into a massive fucking beast." And here's this one random enemy we didn't even mention.
I will say this: I'm not going to interrupt while the fight goes because I love the choreography and I want you to enjoy it. So, play that choreography.
All right, Kyle. Any
All right.
comments before we start?
Alright, so I'm back. So what did I miss in terms of scaling? Give me a summary.
Buffy got.
You missed like a gigaton feat, something like that. Like Angel being like surviving something that like could displace continents.
She also
you
got
sur-
a sword that could kill like a multiversal being, or technically it's an axe.
No, technically it's like an axe, but it's called the Scythe in series, and it has the ability to like reflect magical projectiles or attacks. It can cut through magic. It can cut through ghosts. Its big shtick is that
They can cut through space.
it can cut through space, and it also killed Silas, who's like a multiversal devourer.
Yeah. So a weapon that can kill multiversal beings, but like consistently continental on light speed scaling, I guess would be the more accurate way of saying it.
Probably lower than Khan, just because it's like a continental displace. It doesn't. I mean, they didn't give a calc, but I don't know. We'll see. Without ado, I want to see the fight. Go!
All right, to the fight we go.
All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a live-action death battle!
They need to try a 3D game style at some point, like they did with fucking Snake versus fucking what's his face. Let's go.
This was filmed in Las Vegas.
No wonder it's so empty.
It was filmed in Las Vegas. I'm sure you could have found people very willing to be paid to let you suck on their neck.
You could. All right, good Buffy actor, or I guess actress technically.
We were
Oh my God, it's Wesley Snipes!
long before they had a name for kings. But now, starved, hunted, forgotten. You have waited long enough. Tonight, we remember who we were. Tonight, we take back what was always ours. Tonight, we feast.
That's only one person. That can't be a feast.
And she... That's just the start.
Classic move. Good DJ. Good DJ.
The DJ is Ben.
Say DJ is Ben.
Yeah, you didn't see him like some of the DB.
I have not watched DB Cast in a while. He looks a bit different from what I last remember. Pretty good, pretty good.
Liam Swan.
Okay, so I heard that was Liam. That's pretty cool. They actually had some of the Death Battle people show up.
And that is suplex.
Kind of feel like you should have started with that one.
The bomb or the suplex?
The bomb.
Some
I was gonna say, suplexing the pretty sweet, but I wouldn't start with a suplex.
The bomb is a reference to the second film. I mean, it doesn't even open with that in the second film, so I mean, I guess it makes.
No, it's what happens when he's in the sewer going up against the mutated.
Dude's just a kid.
Not anymore.
He definitely looks the part.
It's not his fault. He just doesn't have the voice.
Yeah, I was gonna say I kind of wish his voice was a little deeper, but you know you can't always.
That's
get
not his. He looks good, but that's not his fault.
Yeah, that's why.
See, once this fight is done, I want you to tell me how they have any excuse to fuck up any kind of choreography ever again. Because they show that they know how to do good choreography when they're given time.
I think it's the characters, and I think live action's a little easier when it comes to choreography because like
I think the animators are just fucking lazy.
nah.
Damn mind.
Because these are professionals doing this, presumably. So they have a lot more
but,
experience.
yes, but they would also be following a choreographed coordinator, which is something that even an animation
but that's probably
director
from-
should be able to have.
It might be from Ismahawk. I have no way of knowing for sure, but like, keep in mind this isn't in tandem with like Ismahawk.
Yeah. That was not the smartest way to do that, to be fair. Yeah, I'd be confused on that one too.
Amateur hour.
There's always some motherfucker trying to ice skate uphill.
Problem with using references from movies is that they only work if they're in the scene in question and not just used for fan service moments.
You gotta have a little give and take with these things.
I think the ice skate motherfucker line kind of works in any fight for because even in the context of the film, it's such a random but cool.
Okay, alright, you know what? Oh, the bolt's gonna come around. Unconscious fucking reaction, my ass. All I'm saying is that wouldn't have hit Goku.
Well, maybe it would
I
have.
mean, to be fair, they're tracking.
Another sword.
I see you cut through adamantium.
Bring it on.
I feel like realistically speaking, unless they provide adamantium crates, the axe should, because it cuts space, but I'm not too familiar with adamantium crazy shenanigans. I do find it a little silly, the level of damage being distributed. But they've done a very good job with this one. I think this fight's definitely probably one of the better ones. For sure the best live action they've done.
Oh, for sure. And in terms of like the fights that have come out this year, besides from like the 2D fights, this is probably like the best fight.
Wait. Is that actually the end of the fight? Alright, come on, Blade. Get back up.
Reddit lied to me!
It's like you got
I'll explain what I mean by that in a moment.
ahead of yourself.
Yeah! To be honest, I was not expecting Buffy to win that one.
Reddit said he died standing. I mean, I guess he did, but he still fell backward. You liars on Reddit!
That was a good fight. That was a good fight. Actually, fucking pretty solid fight.
To be Blade tenured no longer. I'm surprised. I figured with Blade's many years of comic book history, he'd have the edge.
Believe it or not, Buffy is actually in more comics than Blade.
Really? Man, Blade can't catch a break.
Let's break this down into 4 categories.
All right,
First
let's
up, stats. Buffy's lifted much heavier things and survived more significant explosions.
Like, sure, Blade's strong and all, but he isn't literally.
Get me the rival scaling the null! Get me Blade's null scaling in this matchup right now!
I'm gonna say this right now. I can't take that seriously when defeating Zeraphos is one of his feats.
Again, like, I don't think he just scales to the Justicar. It's just, like, his own weapon, and that would be more in the trump card section. But anyways,
Oh, go ahead, Lever.
let's continue. No one's... we're gonna be talking about the sex
fucking
building...
buildings apart like Buffy.
Alright, sex scene.
Scaling to the monsters they fought.
Okay, let's go.
Strong and all, but he isn't literally fucking buildings apart like Buffy.
Scaling to the monsters they fought.
Buffy scales nearly a dozen power feats across her media that exceed any of Blade's scaling. In Chaos Blades, Buffy's sword, Hope's dagger, harmed the god of evil, dispersing its consciousness across all dimensions of reality.
Compare
Go!
Dracula creating a storm that
Buffy
covered
took
Boston
it, let's go!
to the Sorrow Demon creating a storm that covered Los Angeles, a city over 5 times larger. You might be able to compare Blade to Spider-Man like Miles, who absorbed a bomb that could blow up Harlem, but that's significantly weaker than Whistler containing a blast that could wipe out London. They could both dodge.
Blade scales to Cyclops and Daredevil, who are stated to react in nanoseconds, while Buffy scales to Oz, who is stated to react in micromilliseconds. Both statements are likely hyperbolic and will be equal to each other regardless.
Again, I can't take this seriously when Zeraphos is one of your fates.
Kyle. Here's the concession. Zerathos thought he won, but then he used the penance stare and lost because the penance stare doesn't work on fucking anybody anymore.
Light beams, but that doesn't keep Buffy from taking the overall edge in stats.
Blade's used to being the odd man out, though, so his versatility is just as important.
With Blade's numerous powers and massive arsenal, he certainly could have overwhelmed the more straightforward Buffy.
Machine guns and magic swords are generally gonna beat out
Did
crossbows.
she use that
and mortar
snake
stuff.
as a fucking wanking motion, or was that a stabbing motion?
It was a stabbing motion. I suspect she's trying to tell someone else to stab a vampire in the theater.
Not to mention, he
Oh,
actually wears
I was gonna say, well, of course you like that show. It's sus like you.
Kyle, I am as wholesome as can be, but I did seem to notice that I'm not entirely... I'm not gonna say it.
armor.
Also, Blade's faster healing
Boyd Thing's armor ability would not resist a Slayer's scythes, spatial cutting, or power absorption, while his ability to burn anyone who feels fear hurts Silver Surfer. Buffy's supernatural courage would resist this. Guys,
That's not how that works.
I want to have...
That,
So,
superhuman-
this one is actually
no,
interesting
supernatural
because
courage. That's not how that
Man-Thing-
works. It doesn't matter if you're braver. It doesn't matter if you have some sort of like superhuman bravery. You can make that claim for most characters across fiction. It's if you feel fear. It's not if you can be brave and experience courage.
So the problem with this tab is that, if I'm not mistaken, it was kind of condensed. So the problem is Man-Thing has penance stare issues, and what I mean by that is fear hacks is, I'm not saying it's fraudulent, its mechanics are fraudulent. So in some cases with it, bravery has been enough to deal with Man-Thing's fear hacks, which is just the fault of actually, when did Man-Thing debut? Hold on. Was that the 70s or 80s?
Man-Thing's in the 80s, isn't he? He feels more like an 80s creation.
I mean that's fine, but then there's also like layers to it where Death Vale has this problem across the board where they think you resist one form of it, so you resist every form of it that ever exists in fiction.
1971.
What? Bullshit.
No. I promise you, 1971. Go look it up.
I'll look it up later.
So what were you gonna say to my response to him?
I don't remember. I forgot.
So basically, what I said, like, Death Battle has this problem, and it's an evergreen problem that they have had from season 1 up to now, where if a character resists an ability, they think that they can resist that ability on all fronts and all scales, regardless of where a character sits. When you have to prove the different levels.
So while I agree that Death Battle, at least so far, they haven't respected the layers a hacks can have. To be fair.
It's not even layered, because that's not even layered hacks.
To that problem.
That's the problem. It's not layered hacks. There are different power levels.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, well, I guess
different
tiers.
things.
I guess there's different tiers of abilities because there are different tiers of fear hacking.
Because they've had characters who can resist heat or fire.
Yes.
And then say that they can like tank hits from people by their own logic who are like multiversal beings. If they use fire, they should be able to survive it.
I don't think they've had that problem yet. I think that was going to be a problem with Hellboy because I think that.
Oh, okay. So I remember the original tab. I remember the original uncondensed tab. Here we go. Buffy would be unlikely affected by this ability given she's blah 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 courage, and this part that maybe should have remained. I don't know why this is the case, and consistently shows a lack of fear in most combat situations.
Okay, would not matter. Okay, that would not matter.
So that would explain why they would at least consider it. Kyle.
Yeah, I understand why they would consider it. That would not matter because that doesn't change the tiering issue.
So can we have an honest discussion that maybe it's time we take Silver Surfer out of the Herald tier that he created because he's just fodder to everybody at this point?
I think that
remove him from his own tier.
The case would be that like. So Buffy does have technically something she could summon that would be interesting to see fight Boy Thing, but I think it's the reason why they didn't super hyper focus on Boy Thing. This is just theory. They wanted to go a live action route, and I suspect something like Boy Thing would be very expensive. It would be more expensive if you put in Buffy's equivalent. So she can summon a giant gargoyle bat demon called Comatose that has potential universal scaling. Comatose is giant. We're talking at least a story and a half. That does not sound like something doable with a budget on live action. So that's why I'm partly assuming.
I mean, they probably could. It just look like little garbage.
Yeah, they probably could, but it would probably be bad CG. And I'd rather not have early 2000s Joss Whedon CG in my live action fight.
I mean, I'm quite fine with how the fight turned out because this turned out to be a very entertaining fight. So
yes,
I'm happy from a choreography perspective. It's just a shame that other fights this season could not have had this much like attention to detail for choreography.
You have someone in your comments saying that Death Battle is racist. What do you mean?
Is that Jeremy?
No. So to give Cyber context, it's a meme. That we started with the last Death Battle when we found out it's a black man fighting a white woman, so who's going to have the more...
I raise you a counter. Spawn beat Johnny Blaze.
Well, that's just because they hate the penance there more than they hate other races.
Continue with the your shenanigans. It's insane.
Traditional vampire weaknesses kept Buffy on the back foot for a time. Blade wins versatility, but when
so I'm actually gonna be honest here. I think as with everything they provided, I think versatility is kind of equal. I wouldn't say either character really won out versatility. Like, I know you technically kind of have to try and give Blade some categories because they always do that. They try to give both characters some categories, but like, you gave Buffy a lot of shit over there that's not standard gear. I don't care if she uses a wooden stake half the time.
Well, funny enough,
I think they're saving the scythe for later. I guess what they mean by versatility is like, I mean, you would admit that he has more abilities. No, she has more resistances, but he has more like direct abilities.
I guess he has more direct powers, sure, but like, I mean, she's no slouch in that. I feel like he doesn't edge out that definitively. But I mean, I get it. He can turn to smoke. She can't. He can abandon his child for 16 years. She can't.
Well, So the thing that's got me with this fight is like I understand the I guess kind of rivalry because they're both Slayers. That's about it, I guess. But I'm surprised they didn't go the more thematic route and just do like Blade versus Selene from Underworld.
Honestly,
I
I
think
think Buffy versus Celine would have been a better matchup, to be honest. Not like scaling wise, but like I think like just because like 2 female hunters instead. Yeah, I'm super.
I think that part of it was that like Celine. I mean, Underworld is I guess you could make the argument I'm about to say. It's like, wouldn't that also apply to Buffy? And I would say that's not necessarily wrong, but like Underworld is not like that well known these days. It's definitely fallen.
Wait, Kyle, I got the matchup.
I just said.
Underworld Celine versus Trinity. They both wear leather. They're both in the same era.
Actually, no. Couldn't you do Selene versus Rain from Blood Rain?
Yeah, you could. But
I figured someone was going to say Rain.
To be honest, I still need to finish the scaling for those games. I've been busy killing the KKK in the first game, but I feel like Blood Rain just takes it personally. But you know, we'll see.
There's a castle shaking feat that could get really high in the reboot game.
Nice.
Comes to skill, Buffy's got plenty of experience fighting armed opponents barehanded.
Both of them were masters of a similar number of martial arts.
And Blade has been kicking vampire ass for a century, way longer than Buffy's even been alive.
While Blade may have more personal experience, Buffy's
But Blade knows of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and according to Marvel's Midnight Suns, his favorite show. Let's be real, he hasn't read the novels. Okay, bullshit. I call bullshit on that. What the fuck do you mean Blade hasn't read the novels? What's he gonna do? Sleep? What's he gonna do? Fucking no.
ability to draw a Slayer battle.
I don't see this man ever reading a book. He's never reading any books.
Wow, Cyber! Just because he's not actively reading a library in front of you, I guess he doesn't fucking read. Wow! I thought we were better than this.
Stone Age.
That's pretty racist of you, Cyber. Be better.
I mean, she's not reading either.
Wow!
No one's reading these days.
Stereotypical cheerleader white girl doesn't read. Cyber, these stereotypes are harmful.
Okay, when
Cyber,
was the
I expected better from you. Be better.
when was the last time any of three of us read a book?
Hey, I'm reading
Literally yesterday.
I'm reading a philosophy book right now called The Human Dilemma. So fuck you, Cyber. Be better, Cyber. Be better. I'm starting.
I'm reading a culture book on ancient Egypt so I can get some ideas for my novel.
And I'm barely reading High School DxD's 3rd volume. Yeah, it's literature.
Wait, whoa.
Fuck you.
Wait,
High School DxD.
Pause,
I said
pause.
it.
Wait, okay. Why did you? You know what? I'll ask you another time. Why that specifically? But I probably already know why.
It's good literature. Fuck you. You can't slander me. I know what I'm about. I rep DOA.
Who's older than Blade, gives her the superior skill. Even then, they both
DOA?
have weapons and abilities.
Dead or Alive, the fighting game. It's a great game. You should play it sometime.
I don't know why it escaped me for a moment what the abbreviation was for.
So powerful, they could end the fight.
To be fair, the official abbreviation of DOA technically means dead on arrival for corpses and stuff. So, I mean, I'm assuming you weren't thinking dead on arrival. But you would be correct, because that's...
No, but it's...
I
don't know why.
Maybe you could have been referring to a wrestler's suicide's finishing move.
Shut up, Kyle.
Regardless of all else.
They're trump cards.
All right.
Fortunately for Buffy, she actually countered almost all of what Blade could throw at her.
Withstanding Blade draining her energy with his bite? Check.
Resisting the Hellfire shotgun destroying her soul? Check.
Preventing Blade turning to mist and exploding her from the inside out? Check.
Meanwhile, Blade had no way to survive, say,
The Scythe's powers mean Buffy can't be sealed away and can resist the magic nullification of Blade's Atlantean swords.
Buffy's Gorgon venom turning him to stone.
And even with the deadly, just plain gross breathing gun, Blade did not have anything as potent as the Slayer sight. It could easily deflect the breathing gun.
The breathing gun's homing bullets have been stopped before, like by Madcap. The gun also can't hurt holy beings. Given Buffy's powers are angelic in the novels, the gun may not work against her at all.
Yeah, but this is kind of the problem. Is angelic in Buffy the same as angelic in Marvel?
Okay, so assuming you're not a pedantic prick about it, you would just
No, you have to be when it comes to stuff like that. Otherwise, you get into some very slippery slope territory.
I feel like if they're both holy and they both come from a good god, you would.
I remember there was a clarification on this. It's not so much her power. Well, saying her powers are angelic in the novels is kind of super abbreviating what exactly they mean. It was something along the side of her angelic nature. So it's a twofold argument. One, the breathing gun is specified to mainly shoot at demons and will lock on. So, like, there's a nun in the comics that a breathing gun is used on, and it locks on itself. It refuses to fire because the nun is quote unquote considered holy. Buffy, conversely, has a thing where it's revealed that part of her abilities nature is like angelic tied, but it goes a little further than that. It's more like she has a natural protection against things that like target those who are wicked.
Okay, that's what they should have said. I think a bit more in that black box.
That would have been a better argument.
It would be. I would not be surprised if it's just the tab was made short for the sake of brevity.
Yeah.
Bullets back at him, or use its space-cutting ability to slice through his unbreakable adamantium sword.
Don't believe us? Even Wolverine's adamantium skeleton was cut in
I
half
want you
when a
guys to keep this note for the next time Virgil comes in. He should be able to one-tap Sephiroth's fucking sword.
closed on top of him. That's the same kind of thing.
And Wolverine's beta.
So I will say before we get to the matchup, because we're for the next matchup, because it's like we're like 50 seconds away. I remember for the longest time having to explain to people, because Marvel vs. Capcom 3, the Ultimate Edition, has Virgil fighting Wolverine in I think the trailer for it. I had to explain to so many people that like adamantium, as far as I know, doesn't resist spatial attacks, so Virgil will just cut him in half and move on with his day.
To be fair, I think this example with the portal was like in the last 5 years, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was from Jonathan Hickman's X-Men run, which was like within the last 5 years.
Yeah, but if you don't demonstrate a resistance for something, you have to.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you. I'm just saying that like this specific showing of, oh yeah, no shit, it definitely doesn't, was like within the last 5 years.
All right.
Adamantium skeleton.
Don't worry, Chad. I'll read the chat after I'm done with this video.
And since the Scythe could kill Silas, a multiverse-devouring god, I think you could take down Blade with a big enough swing.
Giving Buffy the final advantage over the Daywalker.
Let's see that next matchup.
Had a chance, but Buffy sure.
All right, who's Clive fighting, boys? Who's Clive fighting?
Oh, you're gonna be so fucking happy. It's not gonna be. It's not gonna boil your blood whatsoever.
All right, let's go.
I do think the trailer itself is pretty good.
All right, maybe a Nero matchup. All right, I like that. Wait. Oh no, we're just going straight Dante. Okay. Fuck Nero, am I right? Fuck Nero.
Who the fuck asked for this matchup? That sucks.
Listen. I'm not gonna go into any specifics on this, at least at the moment. I know you said fuck Nero. I mean, listen. Capcom has been doing that themselves. Freaking
no.
Dante is the one to get.
Cyber?
Yes.
This should have been Nero versus Clive Cyber. Don't you fucking bullshit me.
Wait, what? Nero versus Clive? If Nero's getting on this show, he's probably, I mean, unironically, he might probably fight Hellboy.
Dude, Nero absorbs powers, Clive absorbs powers. They can both get like fucking monster forms, spectral things. Now, it has more than Dante. At least they share a power set.
Nero absorbs powers? Are we talking like,
yeah,
I guess, halfway through DMC4?
No, it's not even halfway through. Every time you take something from the bosses, you're
absorbing. No. I remember DMC4.
It's not from the bosses. It's from certain items that you can find on the map as well.
Let's see what chat's been saying. Boys. All right.
Okay, so why the fuck are they bringing Dante back against Clive? So what are they either going to highball Clive to the high heavens and downplay Dante, or are they just going to say that Dante won?
Again, I'm not talking squat about it because I don't know squat. I will say this.
I'm assuming the reason for the matchup was the director saying Clive would beat Dante, because there's not really any connections here.
No. So, do you remember the Kickstarter?
Oh.
Wait, hold on.
Okay,
I have a very specific explanation for why this. Do you remember the Kickstarter promised, and this is not, Devil Artemis kind of already posted like on YouTube who's animating this, so it ties back to the Kickstarter. So in the Kickstarter, one of the options was a Torian animated episode, and if you recall, he did Bayonetta Dante. So Torian is part of this one. I mean, not really a spoiler, given Devil Artemis's comment already saying it on YouTube. It was like, I don't know all the logistics that went into the choice specifically for this, but this does feel like very up his alley for animating. And if I remember right from that Aaron Clive cast, he did say he liked this idea, and definitely he also likes both. I mean, Torian has always been a big DMC fan. He loves animating Devil May Cry, and then he's also really big into 16. So it's like it's more like a don't think of it so much as in I'm going to screw over either character. Think of it more as in the possibility of this happening is probably wait, let me finish. Is probably because one of the animators just loves both series and wants to have fun animating them. That's
fine on a surface level. The problem is that we have to look at this as DMC power scalers for how DMC has been treated in Death Battle in their 2 appearances, and it's not favorably.
I'm more curious what's going to happen to Clive, because unless they go super hard, because I believe Virgil did get scaling in Sephiroth.
No, they didn't. They didn't. They barely gave him like fucking building scaling. If you go by
Virgil was wall level. Virgil was wall level because it was calced wrong.
Oh wait, hold on.
Also,
hang on now a minute. If Dante's wall level, I think Clive might have a shot here. Kyle, hang on now a minute. Clive might actually.
No. So this is what I'm gonna predict. I'm gonna predict that they're gonna say that Clive and Dante scale to the same level of tier, and they're gonna say that Ultima creates a universe and he's final battle. He doesn't. It's a fucking mental fight. Or they're gonna say that he scales to Omega Weapon and he's collapsing dimension, which he doesn't. Clive would have died if the dimension collapses.
We will. So for chat,
and you don't even know how big the dimension is anyway.
We will make a video, maybe like a sort of podcast style, of going over this matchup, because I do want to talk about this matchup.
No, so my biggest thing is like, you could have done a Clive thematical matchup that would have been fantastic to animate, and it would have introduced a new series. You could have just done his thematical counterpart, Alphen from fucking Tales of Arise.
Yeah, but why would one Alphen stop? Cyber, don't you dare!
Oh no, I'm not disagreeing with Alphen being thematic. I think Alphen is thematic as
you
very
let
much
that
so.
pervert have this matchup.
Wait! I don't disagree with it being it might be a view thing. Think about it like as in like, as much as it pains for me to say it, Buffy Blade is also kind of suffering in blue. It's at, what was it, 500K within one day. Yeah. And then, well, we don't talk about Ruby Maka's view count. That's unfortunate. It might be more. No, it's not doing well at all. Let me put this into perspective. So it's like at 1.2 million or something like that. That is not good. That is not good in comparison to a normal Death Battle. Generally, they generate around 2.5 to maybe 3 million these days, which is not as impressive as it used to be. But that is not good. That is not a lot of money back.
I feel like Ruby lost a lot of goodwill as time went on, unfortunately.
Well, it's not even just that. Anyone who was even remotely interested in that fight lost interest when it should have been done like almost a decade ago, when both series were kind of at their peak.
I kind of agree with that, but what I'm getting at is like a bigger picture. The bigger picture being view counts are not so good right now, right? So Alphen is from a game that, while big, I would say is about on par with 16 or less in recognizability. If you go to anyone, I'll use Reddit and YouTube as a parameter right now. So when this episode was announced earlier today, a lot of people were like, "Who the flying hell is Clive?" I kid you not. Like, a lot of people I was seeing, they recognize Dante off the bat. They do not recognize who Clive is. So if you're putting two characters like Alphen and Clive together, who are probably going to get the same reaction from a lot of casuals,
I understand. I understand. So basically, we needed a big name, and he was like, "I really like Clive and Dante. I can do a fun matchup with those. So let's try."
That part is purely theoretical, but I would not be surprised if that's like close to.
I'm assuming if it's not set in stone, animate. Well, again, I have no idea to confirm this. You don't have to confirm this or anything. I'm assuming animators have like a small amount of say in like, oh, well, this could be a good matchup. Maybe you guys should do this one. I'm assuming if they're guaranteed a matchup throughout the season, personally.
Look,
I don't know, but I do know that this one is like the Kickstarter one, right? So that may or may not be valid. I don't know. I'm saying that like Dante is like a very. I mean, I can't remember who was it, Zim or Kyle. You mentioned the interview statement, right? That was from the combat director of 5 and 16. So they share that. Obviously, that's not a thematic connection, but it's like at least there's some recognizability, I guess, to some extent of them together.
That's what I assumed as soon as I saw it, that was what they were going with. But so is that why your profile picture is the guy who abandoned his brother and gaslit him for almost all of his life, effectively?
Listen.
Showing up? Is that why you're Joshua?
No. Joshua's profile is from a bet with it's entirely it was part of like what this could possibly be. It has nothing to do with like the actual episode itself. So like I'm a fan of Clive and Joshua versus Shinra and Sho to an extent. It's thematic to an extent. In the sense of like Sho or probably Sho contrastly is more probably a decent matchup now that I think about it for Joshua. But more so I like the duo matchup, but like duo matchups are probably pretty hard to get on these days. I would like to get a duo matchup. I'm trying to remember, what was the last duo matchup? Okay.
So I'm hoping...
Look, it's fine. The last duel matchup was Ratchet and Clank versus Jak and Daxter, but it's fine because, again, let's be very clear here for this fight. I'm looking at it from a different viewpoint. One, we're going to get to see where they definitively now try and put Devil May Cry, so we know whether or not when they do Virgil Sephiroth again, that Virgil's going to be fucked, and we know where they're going to put Nero.
Betty Pool, boys. We're going to have a fucking Betty Pool.
But on the other hand, it's also like you can't have a fight with Clive because he's boring as batshit. You need somebody with personality with him.
So what I'm hoping...
Actually, that's an evergreen problem for just Final Fantasy 16. Boring are characters. Game.
Joshua was great. Imagine abandoning your brother, and then when your brother gets upset about it, you kind of gaslight him, and they like, being like, "Hey, it's not that bad."
Oh no! How about gaslighting the girl who's been helping you your entire life, and you won't fuck her?
Oh, dude, fucking gosh darn it! Now I remember how much of a piece of shit Clive was.
No comment on characterization. I just find Jill.
Yeah. Listen. Your profile picture is Joshua. You don't get to talk about characters. The only good character
again.
In 16...
Joshua's from a bet. Swish.
The only good character from that game was literally like your blonde friend and your uncle, because they're the only characters who have personality.
Dion, Sid, and your uncle were the only good characters in the... And Torgal. Torgal was alright. They didn't say shit.
Torgal is best character. Anyways, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. Indirectly, this means Death Battle has escaped what I like to call the Final Fantasy VII curse, where any and all Final Fantasy representatives have always been from 7, and we can't seem to escape from that.
That reminds me. Out of all that's what pissed me off the most this morning before I was about to go to work. Out of all the Final Fantasy characters that could have came up first, it was fucking Clive. It couldn't have been it couldn't have been XDF. It couldn't have been Tidus. It couldn't have been.
It had to be.
It couldn't have been Golbez. It couldn't have been anyone good.
It had to be from a
I know what you can blame for that. Blame Tekken 8.
Because Clive came out on Tekken 8, yeah, so he would be the... Bro, we're betting on Tekken fans now? That's how far they've gone?
I didn't say that's the only reason. I just said
To be honest, I understand why they did it. I think I'm hoping it does well, but I'm honestly kind of surprised Bayonetta didn't show up before Dante. I was kind of expecting Bayonetta to get her run back because she's been kind of fucked since season 3. Correct me if I'm wrong. Bayonetta hasn't had anything come back, right? For Death Battle, it's just been season 3.
No, she's only had one appearance. So they're not going to run Dante back a third time. There's no fucking point. So if they're going to run Bayonetta back,
No, that's true. If Dante would get a third run, I mean, there's a pretty clear cut one. Not in a sense of scaling, in a sense of recognizability. And he's been on the show already this season.
Kratos!
Kratos Dante would be like,
and because Death Battle,
yeah,
and because Death Battle is disingenuous as shit when it comes to the cosmology scaling, they're gonna give the fucking Kratos.
No, Cyber, but I agree. Dante versus Kratos is the nuclear option for these characters. It's like the pinnacle of what they can bring in, fucking view-wise.
It is the nuclear option. It's one I don't really particularly care for these days. If you're getting Kratos a rerun, I'd rather he fight the other character that's kind of seen as a fraud. That being Doomslayer to an extent. Dark Ages made me really like that matchup. I don't think it's necessarily like the most thematic thing ever, but I think it has a certain degree of horror. I mean, if you want more thematic, I guess you could go with War from Darksiders, but no, who the flying?
No, that's not thematic at all for Kratos. Not in the slightest.
Listen. When Darksiders drops, it's
Zim,
the only chance they have.
Zim, shut the fuck up. I'm being real here. War is not thematical with Kratos in any way, shape, or form. Darksiders is not a God of War clone. If you want a God of War clone, Dante's Inferno plays exactly like God of War and has the same camera style and everything. I'm sick of people saying that Darksiders is a fucking
Oh no! I didn't
mean
it in the context of Darksiders being a supposed rip-off.
No, not even in terms of character. War is not a Kratos clone in any way, shape, or form.
I have thought about doing War versus Kratos multiple times, and Kyle has been very upset every time I brought it up. That is why he hates that matchup so much.
No, I hate that matchup because people have been comparing them for fucking ever, and there's nothing to compare.
Okay, so let me.
One matchup.
But going on thematics, if you want a thematic matchup for the Doomslayer, like just not worrying about views, you'd go with the Unknown from Metal Hellsinger. That's pretty much his most.
Motherfucker, they're not gonna pick fucking Unknown. Her game didn't even
Oh my
sell
fucking
enough
god!
for
What
a
did I just
sequel.
fucking say? Use those things on the side of your head. I said, regardless of viewership, if you want to go with
Unknown in the
matchup,
matchup, bro, but she's a trash character.
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, because you didn't play the game, because no one did. Also, how is she thematical with Doomslayer? What the fuck? Doomslayer was a regular fucking Space Marine. Unironically, Master Chief is a closer matchup.
They have the same character arc about revenge.
I hate this man so much.
Same play style.
Shit for these characters. Same play style? Bullshit. But whatever. But I hear a lot. No, I'm same play.
You've seen me play Metal Hellsinger. It's literally the exact same first-person shooter mentality.
It's a rhythm game. It's closer to Hi-Fi Rush than it is Doom.
No, it isn't.
Okay, so I guess final thoughts for now on the matchup because I do want to read the comments from what we missed. So.
No, but before you move on to the comments, Cyber, just legitimize my claim. Alphen would beat fucking Clive in a match.
I actually do not have any idea where Alphen scales. I haven't played the game.
Oh, like Universal based off the Dark Fawns in Xion, and if you go by scaling to Kronos, depending on how generous you want to be about that, could be like multi-plus.
You know what?
On the very low end of multi-plus.
Remind me later, New in the Star Commission, you thumbnails for those streams, because I can't remember if they were all perverts or if it was just the blonde one. I remember one of them was blind.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Oh, you gotta watch those streams, Cyber. Those streams were great.
Oh yeah, because we stream the Tales games and we make up our own lore about the teams.
I kind of feel like I should get just thumbnails of the characters to remember. It's great fun, Cyber. It's great fun. You would have a great time.
But it's mostly from like a lot of Alphen's equipment is just disgusting. Because I think certain was it Alphen or was it Rimwell that basically had the Wonder Review but better?
I believe it was No. I believe it was Alphen who had it, but Rimwell had Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap Love Train but better. Yes, and as an uber racist like her, she deserved it.
Well, gentlemen, it's 2 a.m. I unfortunately do have work tomorrow. I have to call it a night.
No, you got
Did you enjoy the episode?
Thank you for stopping by and giving us information about both series that we had no idea about.
Yeah, appreciate it, Cyber. Always.
I do think the tabs work against this one in the sense of like the Boy Think tab could have been a little different, and then what was the other one? The gun one. That being like it should have clarified what it actually meant by angelic powers in the novels. I think those were the two, and then I do I picked up on like Kyle usually goes ham on those like feat sheets. I don't generally usually have an issue.
I can't because I don't know the characters, so I have nothing.
I know. Like the concept. No. The concept of it, like most of the time, where it's not. But like, and this time I do agree that like, especially with Buffy's, I feel like is done in such a way that it's not really helpful because it's like I said, 99% of people, maybe not that much, 95% of people watching don't know who Buffy is, or at least haven't gone ham into the comics or especially the novels. Like the feat sheet should be a little bit more direct on. Wait a minute, what does
the problem is that most of the people who would know and would like to watch Buffy are like in their mid-30s by now. And they wouldn't be watching it.
Hey, I'm still in my 20s. I'm still a young man.
Why do I know you're probably not lying, but it still feels like that's bullshit because of how you act. You act like a 35-year-old.
You'll understand what it's like when you're older, when you're
Shut the fuck up, Kyle! You're the youngest of us all! But alright, Cyber. I'll just be responding to the...
Actually, am I younger than Cyber?
Cyber, if you're comfortable sharing your age in the messages, it'd be hilarious if you posted it, but if not, it's okay. It's all good. Did I say it's all gay?
I will share another time. Wait,
good,
I don't know if I am older or younger than Kyle, but that's a discussion for another time.
Yeah,
we can discuss that outside of a VC.
Yeah. Higher or lower than 25?
Oh, Kyle's go. Oh, is he gonna
discussion for another time?
All right, Cyber, you have yourself a nice night, mate. But okay, let me start reading some of the stream comments here.
I'm asking for an age, not your location. I'm not doxing you. Okay, he fights Dracula, who regularly fights the entire Avengers. The speed feats alone, but Dracula takes on the Avengers, including Carol, who regularly uses speed to travel time. You can't resist the fear hacks of the boy man. That's not a thing, something you can resist. Oh, here we go. So will they bring up the regular anti-feats Buffy has, where her stats rise and sings? She isn't the one to come up with the way to beat the judge. That was others. Grip. What the? It's shown that if Buffy didn't have her friends, she never would have made it past the master because she couldn't come up with the counter. Buffy's not exactly best in battle IQ, but she has the weaknesses of sharp or pointy objects affect her the same as everyone else. Funnily enough, she gets stabbed by her stake. Van. Hello. Telecross. Hello. Good one. Let's not forget Angel is a centuries-old corpse, and that's why her friends do not understand her relationship with vampires. You didn't see Firefly? I did not. Yeah, what did I miss? Hello, Neon. She dies before the whole. It's only Xander performing CPR because no one else could come up with a way to break a prophecy. She was satisfied with her death already, Zim? Nah. We actually watched Buffy. Yo, what's up? Oh, hello, Ginger. Hello. Oh, I guess he said your name. Hello, Hunter. Let's go to the mini mart. I already have food in the local store. Oh, hang on. Son of a bitch. Welcome to tomorrow, though. Buy premium already. Let's not forget to add that Buffy tends to beat her big foes because they team helps her figure out how to beat them. She almost never figures it out herself. Okay, but so the thing is that if they have a specific way you have to kill them, that wouldn't matter for a matchup against Blade. Gosh, goddamn holy. Only ever going to be one Blade. Okay, so he got the Wesley Sniper joke. How much did they spend for this episode? Probably an initiation. Oh,
I
it'd have
just
to
stopped
be.
watching before I started doing live
It
action.
looks good. If you told me that this one was like a couple of 100,000 to 1,000,000, I'd believe it because it looks decent.
Combat music, he sent it because of Peak. Bro, the pack punched Mauser. It did look like a pack of punch Mauser. That's fair. Oh, that's the start of the fight. It had to be done. What the? Got him raw. Damn.
Fucking
bro.
did too.
Actually.
That or like the 100 kill skin.
Actual Kino fight segment. Read about how she counters Boyd thing. It's hilarious because that's not how his powers work. So Cyber provided context, but Kyle was on that one. Oh well. Penance fraudery continues. Blade scales to Dracula, a dude that fist fights the Avengers and can fight Apocalypse. This is Blade's main hop. Buffy doesn't keep most of the items on hand, other than the stakes and the scythe, maybe a crossbow. Lies and deceit. Cyber's Nancy Feeble regularly having courage is not a counter. Yes, Kyle corrected that one there. Well, it's official. Death Battle is racist lol. I knew it was fucking Jeremy who said that shit. Lamau. Blade was given speed. He would never let himself be hit by her. There's also Miles Morales versus Deku. Bruh. Zim, are you going to react to Dante versus Clive? Of course. I have to talk to Mangler and Kyle about this.
I've already like talked to Mangler a little bit today. Not if he's available, but
well, that's
I've tried to get in the lowdown on like some of Clive's shit, and he's like confused why they're even doing this fight.
To be honest, it's just for recognition. Hang on, get
Look,
his ass.
So it's like I was saying to the boys today. This is going to go one of two ways. They're either going to have to lowball Dante and like not acknowledge any of the uni stuff for Clive to even like stand a chance, and that's if that he can get over any of Dante's hacks, because Clive has no fucking hacks. Or as I said earlier, like they try and say that Ultima creates a universe. There's no evidence he does. Or they try and scale him to a mega weapon, which, again, he does create a pocket dimension, but we don't know the size of it. And then they extrapolate off that.
Zim, what did it make this matchup age well is the fact the black man tries to use a knife against the white chick. Ewan, no. Jeremy, no. Yeah, this matchup, the only way Clive wins this matchup is if Dante's not universal and Clive is. Like, the only way this matchup goes in Clive's favor is if Clive has a massive AP stomp. Because there's nothing in Clive's arsenal that can fuck with Dante.
Too is his best hacks is the shit he got from Odin, but that space hacks is just worse fucking Yamato, and on top of that, he has like maybe lightspeed stuff scaling to Dion. But Dante has better lightspeed stuff earlier in his series.
I like how the bet Cyber made and losing was to put the gaslighter as his profile picture. That's wild. Someone had a good sense of humor. That's probably going to be the last Marvel episode this season, and Hulk and Banner are going to be the only Marvel characters to win this season. Lamau. Lamau. Ha ha ha. So Dante going to watch Clive? 100%. Dante sweep. Again, if the G1 blog comes out and doesn't just say Dante takes it, because Dante's healing factor basically gives him the win. Like, I don't have to talk about anything else. Just his healing factor would give him the win.
Yeah, you wouldn't have to do that, because like, just the way Clive fights, he gets fucked over by Royal Guard.
It still should have been Nero. Thank you, Stella Cross, for being valid. Thank you. It should have been Nero, 100%. 100%. Kyoto FGO vs. Mundus would be a better matchup for DMC.
What do you bet? What do you bet the way, if Clive wins, the way he wins is he punches Dante out of Sin Devil Trigger the way Urizen does to Dante at the start of 5.
I could see that. Dante from Dante. It should have been Dante versus Lightning. That would have been a more close matchup, but Lightning. Actually, she's probably the most popular Final Fantasy character.
Well, the problem is that like you could have chose any other Final Fantasy character and it would have made more sense, because like you could have at least dipped into the well of like the Scythia to argue scaling. Clive hasn't entered the Scythia yet, so you can't argue the Scythia for him.
Yeah. I was kind of hoping it was going to be Clive versus Noctis when I knew it was Clive coming out. I was kind of hoping they would have done an in-universe matchup. But it's okay. I'll do Clive versus Noctis. I'll start choreographing and everything. I'll have Kyle help me like my last one.
Like, when we were trying to squeeze who Clive was going to be fighting for the longest time, me and Zim, in private chats, we're coming up with we're coming up with like 20 better fights just off the rip of what it could be and how we're gonna like tackle this going forward as a stream. No wonder he was so fucking cagey, because if we knew this was gonna be a matchup, we would have been so dismissive and so angry.
I think when we first heard that Clive was getting a matchup at some point, I said I like Dante. I mentioned Dante, but I was like, there's no way they would do DMC again because DMC is such a clusterfuck of scaling. I'm actually kind of pissed we're not getting Bayonetta before Dante again. I think Bayonetta as a series needs another death battle. It's actually kind of fucking ridiculous.
Anyone else but fucking Bayonetta. Not as a series, I mean just as a character. Like, use someone else from that series.
That's fair.
You
I wouldn't mind a Baldur matchup.
Yeah, and it's Arius.
Valid. Dante with Dante's Inferno unironically stomps Kratos despite being the clone. Lies in the sea, Kyle. You gods in, we can go crazy. I'm more baffled you guys haven't asked for more etchy material for the thumbnail to bait views. Well, Newham, we don't really care about views. I don't know if you know this, but we don't really make money on this shit. I sometimes get $100 every couple of months. It's more than what Kyle's makes. Actually,
I see none of that.
I give you whiskey sometimes. I felt like a rich guy right now, just being like, peasant, I give you spirits, peasant.
Oh, thank you, sir, for the grog.
Dante should have been facing Ryu Hayabusa, that's my take.
Fucking standing there like Oliver Twist.
So I was rooting and betting for Blade because he's one of my boys in Marvel, but oh well. Yeah. I don't think Ryu Hayabusa would have been the right one. Lol, get his ass. Actually, why hasn't Ryu been back in Death Battle? He only had his one, and it's with Strider. Wait for Ninja Gaiden 4. If Ninja Gaiden 4 does really well, I expect Ryu to get a Death Battle if they continue another season. So the next fight is going to be either them bullshitting why Clive wins or Dante just washes Clive. Whereas Clive scale below planetary.
There's literally no other way to go about it. Either
planetary, isn't
he? This is the problem with this fight, because we don't know how it's going to go. Because it's either going to be Dante pushing Clive's shit in, scaling-wise. Might not represent that in the animation, but scaling-wise, it should be like Dante pushing Clive's shit in the hard way. Or it's going to be they have to ignore POC and downplay DMC to at least country off the anime, island off one.
Let's be perfectly clear here. They are not giving POC to Dante. I guarantee you the first black box that pops up will be like Kratos versus Azura, where there's just some shit they're not going to use. I'll put money on it. That Dante versus Clive reaction video is going to be a treat. So I kind of want to do like a separate video going over the characters, not like in depth, super hard, but just have like a prediction video, not just a stream thing.
I wouldn't mind doing that, but the funny thing is, it's just like there's not even a reason for us to go back and try and refamiliarize ourselves with 16, because 16 has nothing to scale to outside of the Dion fight, the Titan fight, and Ultima. Other than that, Clive has no hacks, so there's nothing to really like recap yourself and be familiarized with.
I am going to have to go through 16 for the Noctis matchup, because I do want to put that debate to bed at some point, hopefully by the end of this year, but my schedule's been so fucked. At that point, he's being disingenuous. That's being disingenuous, and he only gets light speed scaling as Ifrit Risen. I was actually going to say, and Cyber left before I could say this, I really hope this is not another Gurren Lagann situation where Clive gets a form he shouldn't have access to normally without help. There is a new Dissidia mobile game, and you want to know who hasn't been announced for it? Clive. You want to know who is announced for it based on the silhouettes? Prompto. 15 state winning.
No, you know what like annoyed me the most, because I was going through like characters that should have showed up first. We got Clive. I want to like emphasize this a lot. We got Clive
before we got Jack.
Bro, that's so true. Jack could have actually put up a fight. Okay, hang on. Lightning would have closer, but especially with the shit she has on Versus Wiki, Dante's still even more hacksy. Does Naruto versus Clive sound like a good matchup? Not too sure.
No.
Just doing it for the love of the game? Yeah, that's what we do this for. Is POC canon? So, it should be, yes. But people don't want to accept it because there was a statement.
It's not should be. No. Well, let's put this to bed. It's not should be. It's a definitive yes. It's a orthodoxical prequel to 3.
Yeah, it's called an orthodoxical sequel, so you would consider it as canon. What's the lowest scaling for Dante that exists? Sketchbook. Are you saying like the lowest we've heard or the lowest that's valid? Those are two different discussions.
Okay, so the lowest that we've seen people put him at, or the lowest that we're willing to go?
Yeah, because the lowest I've seen people put him at is probably like maybe building level is probably the lowest I've seen people put him at. Maybe multi-city block might be the lowest actually, because technically you can't get past Abigail's lasers, but I feel like
I think people get like country off like cloud movements from anime when it activates the hell portal.
Building is the lowest I've heard for Dante scaling. It's been building.
The lowest that we're willing to basically like, if somebody is like being a super hard ass, the lowest we would put Dante is like still immeasurable, but like low multi.
Yeah. Because we've gotten to the point where there's so much evidence that like anything below like Uni Plus is just straight up like fucking you're just not like looking at the lore in any capacity. Jack Garland was to be based.
Yeah, you would go like low multi just based off like showing them the nightmare scans from Visions of V, and then show them the Samsara.
Yes, 100%. Let's see here. You've heard, probably either Island or Planet. We got Clive before Lightning, the more popular characters. That's funny as hell.
It's just weird that we got Clive before Kefka. We got him before Garland. We got him before Jack. We got him before Tidus. We got him before Auron.
Characters who I would have assumed would have made the list before Clive. Like, I think that's just what Kyle's trying to say, and I completely agree. There were a lot of Final Fantasy characters I thought would have made this cut first. Honestly, I thought Gilgamesh would have shown up first. I thought Gilgamesh was our next Final Fantasy character who was showing up. No bullshit. I thought it was going to be Gilgamesh.
No, you know what? You know what? You could have given me the entire roster of Final Fantasy, and I would have told you with a straight face, Terra would have made it on before Clive.
Yeah. It's wild.